It's that time. You're here for the watch list. Let's jump right into it, baby. All right, we're here for the watch list. What we're gonna do is go over the indices to see how everything's setting up on the broader market. We're gonna look at the watch list. It's the same one as last week. I've added a few, I've taken a few off, but these are key growth stocks that we want to keep an eye on. So the very first thing we're going to look at, yeah, you guessed it. If you've been watching me for a while, I like to follow this S&P 500. So right here on the daily, if we take a look at it, we've talked many times about this 410. That's where I said I drew my line in the sand. That 410 is holding. It's holding well, making new higher lows off of it. And since the inception of LoFiTrader, we've talked about every new higher low being formed. All the way up into this 410. Now that's my line in the sand. I love to see it. We could get a nice pullback, but regardless, we can pull all the way back to 410 and still be safe. So the SPY is still looking great above a 200-day moving average. The QQQ, the heavy tech indices, the techs, big tech is like Tesla and Apple, your Nvidias, all your big tech are going to be piled in to the QQQ. And obviously, it has been looking the strongest overall. And why is that? Well, people ran to tech when people were fearful and people were scared and the financial markets started to fail. Everybody decided tech's the way to go. So that's a big focus of ours lately, is staying focused on tech, as the QQQ is still holding up above a 10-day moving average. Next up is going to be the IWM, which has shown some breadth in the market as the rest of the market started to look like it started to form some new higher lows and started to push higher. The IWM just traded sideways for a long time, but now pushing up higher, reaching that 187. If you guys remember, we talked about that 187 before and how that 187 is a key area that we want to get through. Now, it has not gotten through that level yet. Maybe another push on volume, and then it can come back and retest that 187 to show that that is a very strong area. And we want to see it hold its support, not keep bumping its head on that resistance right here. This is the resistance area that it's bumping its head on. It's getting a pullback right now, but where that pullback is going to hold, I don't know. We're hoping for new higher lows because, you know, I'm a bull with bear horns, baby. Bear with bull horns, baby, because I love to see the market go higher. We want to see our market go higher. We want to see our 401ks. We want to see our Roth IRAs go to the north side, baby. Okay, so let's hope, and I say it respectfully, that it can continue to hold new higher lows and head higher with the rest of the market. And now we have the NASDAQ. I've seen a lot of people in IBD, the Investors Business Daily, and all you can slimmers out there like myself looking at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is looking absolutely golden, breaking above that 13,650 and heading higher, not really looking back. That's a beautiful thing. It bumped its head once right here in this area, and then it just rips city, baby. So let's keep an eye on that. Now we can look at the Dow Jones. I don't do a lot of trading inside the Dow Jones, but this is promising action. Trading sideways, shaking it out of the bigger players, popping back up above a 200-day moving average, and then another nice bounce. So it's creating new higher lows here. 1, 2, 3. Maybe this 32,600 will hold out for the Dow Jones Industrial and breaking above this trend line that we had drawn out for you a few weeks ago. Okay, so that's all looking nice. We can look at some of our big tech like Tesla. Tesla here is just rip-roaring. A lot of times when Tesla gets these breakouts here, I like to play them. I did have some money in this breakout, but I got out way earlier than I needed to or anticipated, to be very honest. So that's looking good. Netflix here, just like the rest of your tech leaders, it ripped and it made new highs, and we're going to have to see where it wants to go. When you see these stocks holding and respecting this 10-day moving average like this, you know, that's momentum, baby. That's momentum. And some people like to carry and ride that momentum. I like to be already in it and trying to ride it. I rather hold on to the position than fear of missing out and trying to get in now when the move's already taken. So if this thing can pull back to a 10-day moving average as long as well as Tesla or Microsoft or any of these. Now Microsoft is not holding that 10-day moving average since we're talking about it, but it is towards that all-time highs. It came all the way up here around 338. That's absolutely beautiful to see for Microsoft, especially coming off such a big downtrend here. So maybe we get a pullback. If I just have to take a random stab in the dark, I'm going to say this 300. I'm going to say we pull back to this 300. Maybe we don't pull back that far, but that's the psychological level that I'm seeing, that I'm looking at, and it could happen. But these aren't buy or sell recommendations, guys. You know I'm just a big talking head on here. I just like to talk stocks. Next up, AMZN, Amazon. Amazon's holding that 10-day moving average above a 200-day moving average. Absolutely beautiful. Now remember, Meta got a nice pullback here, right there into that 10 and 21-day moving average. It's kind of hovering right in between those. Now we've seen Meta, it's been very, very strong since this base over here in November on the 3rd of last year. After that, this stock has not looked back. It's absolutely beautiful to see. You want to see these big Fang Mang stocks holding up. Nvidia, this is becoming a very, very tight range here. And I like to see tight ranges because usually it's blast off after these tight ranges hold. So, excuse me, I seen it hold this area of this 375. It's a beautiful area for it to be holding. It broke its uptrend, which shows me it's shaking people out, which is always nice to see. You want to see the institutional ownerships trying to shake out some of those weaker hands. I personally was one of those weaker hands that shook me out, but I'm not going to just put this on the back burner. I'm keeping a very close eye on it. I'd love to see this thing break out right in this area, right here, to be honest. It'd be very, very nice to see another explosion off the 10-day moving average, or we wait for that 21-day moving average to catch up as well. Next up, your delicious but nutritious Apple, AAPL. Ladies and gentlemen, Apple, there's been a whole bunch of talk about this new Apple Vision or Apple Pro, the headset that they have coming out for it. I've been a huge advocate in VR. I love VR. I think VR is cool. I've only used it in applications for gaming, for video games, for my children, for myself. Absolutely love it. We own a couple of Oculus Quests. Now, I think Apple is going to blow it out of the water, but I don't think it's going to be very affordable for the masses. So if they can take this off and revolutionize it, more power to them. I'd love to see it happen. Last one we're going to take a look at here before we hit the watch list is going to be Google. So Google is pulling back to that 21-day moving average. It's sitting very, very tight on there. I would consider this squatting on the 21-day moving average. I want you guys to keep this on your watch list. Obviously, I think everybody has Google on there anyway, but bouncing off this 21-day moving average, or maybe the 30 as it has respected before in the past couple months. So we're going to keep an eye on Google here at the 21-day moving average because it's squatting. We're going to see which direction it wants to take in the morning on Monday. But if it wants to pull back, we still have a 30-day moving average we could play off of. So just a few things I'm looking at there. Okay, now my watch list. So a few of the things that I have on my watch list here. I am in a few of these. I'll let you know which ones, like COST, C-O-S-T. You see, on the daily here, I threw up a beautiful, big wedge here. This wedge has broke out after it's shaken people out. It broke out, so I got in on this breakout right around 505. Now I'm just holding some small shares for the long term. This is a very slow mover. It only moves 1.74% or 1.7%. Actively during the day. So this isn't something that you want to, actively seek a huge portfolio move in, but it's definitely one that I would like for you to keep your eyes on. Now, we've already talked about Tesla, but I do want to reinstate. I want to see a pullback. I'm almost willing to buy up some of these pullbacks as they happen, but this test of 218 would be ideal, personally, or 220 would be absolutely phenomenal if I could get that pullback to there for a test to show me that price action is strong to try and grab me a few shares. So what I do there is I just create an alert at or below this area, so when it goes off, I'll be alerted to this stock, and I can come back to Tesla and take some tasty trades. Suave is definitely one that I've had for a very, very long time. I've had this on here since October of last year. This is an absolutely beautiful can slim cup and handle, looking absolutely beautiful in this area. I've tried to take a few positions here. They were a little large, obviously. I was up probably around 150 bucks in this area. Didn't take profit. Really believed in that push, but I should have taken half out knowing that we have this overhead resistance here. That's a-okay. It pulled back. It's still holding a 10-day moving average, now getting pretty tight. So I do like Suave here. I do like the cup and handle, and I will be keeping this on my top of my list in order to remind myself, hey, you have a position that you want to take in this area. Another one is AI, guys. Of course, AI, I don't care whether you believe in it or you don't. I'm looking at price action here, okay? AI's price action is absolutely incredible. Holding a 10-day moving average now, just ripping at times, pulling back and using that as support. So I do like this too. I have tried to play this a few times. Unfortunately, I'm playing the daily breakout. So like here on Friday, I played the 1 minute. This is the 1 hour, but I played the 1 minute or the 5 minute daily breakout. And as you can see, this would be my stop. I ended up stopping out on this thing, but wow, what a beautiful push. I took about half up here around this 39 area, and then the rest sold out after it broke down. So just keeping an eye on AI, just because I had a entry fail attempt does not mean that I can't get my next attempt. It's still a little extended from this uptrend line, so we still have some room to pull back, I would say, to this 34.50 area. So just a few things I'm looking at there. Of course, Nvidia, as we talked about earlier, creating a huge wedge up there at the top. RMBS, this thing took me for about 100 bucks. I wanted to play this breakout. As you guys know, I like these big pushes, pullbacks, and look how tight this got on this 10-day. It just got so tight I had to play it. So I played this day, I played it the morning breakout. Everything was working good until it broke that low of day and stopped me out. So Friday I took a small loss because of taking profit on AI while it went up. It actually saved my butt big time because the other stocks that I had lost on it made up for. So that's why we like to take profit when we see those nice liquidity pushes. ELF, as you need to know, ELF, another beautiful push. This is a huge uptrend, and this is a huge can slim candidate. So if you don't know what can slim is, make sure you grab the How to Make Money in Stocks by William O'Neill. Rest in peace, William O'Neill. Helped just thousands of investors, if not way more. And it's a great book. It's got 100 examples of actual stock charts in there. So if you hear me say can slim and you don't know what can slim is, remember the acronym, look up the acronym, and memorize the acronym, okay? Can slim, it's definitely one that's going to help you regardless of how you trade. Next, we have Cialis. It is the energy drink. I'm seeing it everywhere. It's happening a lot. I've been talking about this for a long time. It's a slow mover though, guy. Well, actually, it's 4.2% mover, so I take that back. That's been updated. So this thing here, if it can hold a 10 and 21-day moving average, it looks like it's respecting that 21-day moving average, so it could be a beautiful play. So one other thing I want to bring up here as well is PANW. Also another liftoff off this beautiful base right here, and it looks like it's forming a new one. So if it can hold this 10-day moving average, maybe wait for the 21-day to catch up, I think that would be a beautiful little base to set fire to. So we're going to see how all those work out. And why don't you let me know in the comment section what you're looking at. We're going to give you one last bonus one though, because I have a ton on my list, but I have to talk about IoT. I have to talk about IoT, and here's the reason why. I've gotten in IoT when it was down here, and it was very, very tight. Very, very tight. And earnings took this thing off, right? Earnings took this thing off. Now, usually I don't get in before earnings. I was actually unaware. Excuse me. I was unaware of the earnings, so I lucked out on that. But regardless, if I wouldn't have taken this on earnings, it had this beautiful earnings gap up day, and it opened up here at 17%. So we would have been interested in anything over 10. And we would have played this using this breakout area right here at 23.82 and this low of 22.15. Instead, I took 100 shares at this area down here at 22.98. So it's giving you my average here now. I had shares, I added shares, and then when this thing came up into this area, I ended up exiting about half of my position. So 50 of those shares, it pulled back and now is heading higher. So IoT is still looking very, very strong. I do have some money in the stock. So we've locked in about $250 so far on this, and we have about 300 more on the line. So if I exited now, guys, we'd have about $500 just in this trade. So it's an absolutely beautiful thing. And of course, you know, I like to brag a little bit about my winnings. I do talk about my losers on here enough, so we'll talk about my winnings on here as well. So guys, thank you so much for sticking with me. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope you have an amazing trading week. Remember, leave a like, hit that subscribe button. I'm a bear with bullhorns, baby. I love to invest with y'all, but I'm ready to swipe down at any given time. So you guys take care. Thank you. I love ya, and I hope you love me.